Our new parts have been completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend. If it were me, this is probably what I'd invest in.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, a track that will certainly force the drivers to push themselves. It consists of a very impressive main straight going into turn 1. It's a straight that also offers a DRS zone, so it's likely to be a hot spot for overtakes. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let me ask you about Racing Point. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel and Perez, Albon, Sainz, Ricciardo and Lance Stroll, Norris, Ocon, Daniel Kvyat and Magnussen, Gasly, Grosjean, George Russell and Kimi Raikkonen. Matsushita, the rookie, Latifi and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
We're at the back of the grid, not the best place to start, but keep your chin up, push hard. Okay, you need to give that position back. That was an illegal overtake. Release, release. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Is coming in for his stop. Leclerc behind. The gap is less than a second. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:23.0. This is your final lap of the race. That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Another Spanish Grand Prix is over, and what a special race it was. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. So, let's review the drivers' standings. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
My driver of the day has to be, no question, Antonio Giovinazzi. Such an assured drive from one of the sport's newer stars, and a performance he can be very, very proud of.
Let's move on to the Constructors. Our championship leaders retain their position, but their lead is shrinking. Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Alfa Romeo, whose good result moves them further up the championship. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.